Hi, gardening friends. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in this week. Happy October 1st, everybody. As you can see, we've got the front yard all decked out. But anyway, if you want to see more of the front yard and even a nighttime tour, look at some of my other videos that I've just posted. So, what were we talking about last video? Some projects that I wanted to get done. Some dividing and moving and pulling out. If you remember, there were 3 large knockout roses here. And now there are 2. Here is the remnants of the 3rd one. The reason I cut so much off of it is because it makes it easier to move and transplant without getting all tore up by the thorns. So that's what was right there. And the reason I did that is because we have 2 spireas, which is the same ones that are down there. Only thing different is these were planted a year after those. So the rose that was here was crowding this one out, and it was just too much here. So what I also did was the autumn joy sedum. There was 3 more in here that I moved. Everything was just getting too crowded. And of course the spireas, they get pretty big, so they needed some room to grow. So there was even one right here, and I moved that back because that's how I've got them going anyway, more beside the spireas instead of out in the border, because I still want to continue next year the coral bells and the lamb's ear. This is the second attempt to this video. This morning it was just way too bright and my shadow kept getting in the way and everything was just all washed out. Do you remember the rose that was in front of the 3 limelights by the big window? Doesn't look too happy now, but it'll be alright. I transplanted that one here, and I think the red will be a nice pop against the Annabelle hydrangeas there, which will have white, hopefully more white flowers on them next year. But I think that'll be a nice contrast. There's also the red St. Valentine Day lilies in here. Those could get moved maybe next year. I'm going to leave them in there for now just to see how they look. Still more mulching that needs to be done, but when you're on a budget, you can only do so much at once. Do you remember the big mess that was? Let me just show you this real quick, if I don't get stuck in the roses. The big mess that was in here. Still have a little bit here. This is what I cleaned out. I think I mentioned this last video. Remember all the crabgrass that was in here? That's what this is. So I did take care of that. And all this mess is tree limbs and stuff that was over here. All that is pulled to the back corner. And I'm saving up for a dumpster to be dropped off to get rid of all that stuff. Dealing with the 4 huge maples in the back. They just make a mess all the time. So it's really piled up back in the corner with all the limbs that we had fallen. Blue Victoria Salvia still giving me color. And not many of the red safari marigolds are doing great. A lot of them are dying down. But I've been saving the seeds on those. as well as this variety. This is the French marigold, which is my favorite because I just like the way the blooms look on these. Now, of course, these are kind of spent because we're so late in the season, but I don't know, they're bushier and airier than the normal marigolds. Coreopsis in here past its prime, but boy, was that a lot of color all season long. The yellow. Russian sage dying back. Do not know what went on with the aster here. That's supposed to be purple aster. It was fine last year. And I don't know what happened to this one. There's Edgar tearing up stuff. Blanket flower. I need to get out here right after this video and get these seeds. I do want to harvest the seeds off those. This is what they look like. And if I had kept up with the deadheading, they would have more blooms on them. But I want to save some seeds this year. This is the dark opal basil that I've talked about almost every video. It smells so good. It smells like, I don't know, like lasagna and lavender, if that makes any sense. The hearse we had built last year. So yeah, guys, that's the front, and as you can see, I've cut the lime lights down as they were taken over. Oh, I had 3 in here. Sorry, hopefully I'm not making you guys sick. So there's 3 spireas, the big green ones, and that's how those 2 over there will get. Especially next year, having more sun. There is the Nandina that I moved from there, believe it or not, getting taken over by the limelight. So I moved it there. Favorite rose, the yellow knockout. I think it's called Sunny something. I think. But just Google yellow fragrant knockout roses. And boy, is this fragrant. Also have barberries in here. There's my trick-or-treater prop. And that one. Miss Raven. She's been catching a lot of mice lately and chipmunks. Lantana. Got an aster and a zinnia variety. I don't know if you guys can see this in the video. It's not coming out as good, but this Russian sage is very purpley. David Austin roses. Isn't that pretty? It's last blooms of the season. Mums and aster in the whiskey barrels. mums, and this purple is a Speedwell. Speedwell or Veronica. I think that was like $2 or $3 I got on clearance, which isn't bad for that size of plant. The good thing about putting perennials in your containers is when you switch them out or at the end of the season, you can plant them in your garden. More bang for your buck. This is the new canvas for next year. We are going to do, like I said before in the last video, a formal garden area here with boxwoods and some blue or purple and white perennials. Nothing that gets tall and crazy. Phlox, which has been cut back a time or two throughout the season after the first round of blooms were spent. If you cut it back halfway in the middle of the summer, by fall you'll get another flush of blooms, and that's what's going on here. I planted a peony. It looks like crap right now. Hopefully it'll make it, but this was in the back, and I think it just got too shaded and too dry back there. Veronica, purple. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the salvia. This is salvia. And this is Veronica. Speedwell. Another one back there. A lily. Now this is what the aster up front is supposed to look like. Some small zinnias in here left. Remember I said I pulled some sedum out of the front. This is one of those I transplanted here. Pretty fall color. We're gonna walk around this way because I think it's prettier. Alyssum, snow in the summer. Really looks great this time of year. Nice contrast against the sedum, autumn joy. I'm gonna have to make this short and sweet because I've got eggs on the stove. We're having ham, mashed potatoes, green beans, and deviled eggs tonight. This canthus grass. My favorite aster. This is the more taller, airier aster, but I love this light lavender color. So pretty. Blue wildflower left. This has been going non-stop since May, end of May. Calendula in there, the yellow. Look how pretty that color is for fall. I'm really going to work on this next year. And this spring I'll be filling in, mulch and stuff and getting these weeds out of here. But next year I really want to focus on more interest over here. Especially this time of year, maybe some more evergreens or something that stays green. Bushy, maybe a tree or something. Siberian iris will give me blue flowers this spring. And in front of it is the morsedum, autumn joy. I've also planted and dropped black-eyed Susan seeds all around this tree. It does pretty good in part sun. Full shade woodland area of the yard. As you can see, we can't get grass to grow on this side. So we'll just keep filling it with shade-loving perennials. Solomon seal there. Hostas. There's the mess that's going to get out of here soon when I get the dumpster in the back. Kind of disappointed in these burning bushes that I have. I've had them for 3 seasons now, and they've not turned red like they're supposed to. Maybe they will. We still got time. Here's the Solomon seal. More hostas. Remember the Nandina here that I planted and thought I lost? It was nothing but sticks. It's now coming back. Looks like it's loving its life. Another burning bush there. Roses are winding down. Coneflower, lilies. Everything in here is spent. But we'll still have fall and winter interest with the barberry, the Nandina, the miscanthus grass, here is the rose that I moved from the front, knockout rose, next to the yellow rose there, so that should look good next year. In my vegetable area and raised beds, we've added one. That one's new. And I've used these stones as a walkway. But right now, it's just housing random perennials that I will probably plant next year when I decide where they're going. This is a tall rose. But yeah, in here are lilies, a sedum that I just pulled up from the front. Don't know where it's going yet, so that's why I put it in here. The sage, red sage, Edgar, mullein. We even got, columbine. The purple flower in the spring. Columbine in there. This is a freebie that come up under the fence in the neighbor's yard. Into ours, this is a white Rose of Sharon. Again, I don't know where I want it, so that's why it's here. Coneflower. But the red sage, very pretty. Ooh, blurry, sorry. I did get to lay some mulch back here around the 9-bark. Excuse the mess, I've been cutting stuff down and cleaning out. But little by little, I've been taking cardboard and plastic and laying around my different perennials I have in here. Bee balm. There's a rose in here. Oh, what is that? I'll think of it later. And the phlox, the low blue Chattahoochee phlox is in here. I think that's called gem. The red, it's a red coral gem in there. I think that's what it is. Here is the 9-bark. It's supposed to be burgundy. I don't know what's happened. But if I'd known it was going to turn green, I probably wouldn't have got it. But anyway. Mexican sunflower, the orange. I'll be pulling that out soon. I know a lot of you say to keep it up because it feeds the birds through the winter, but I'm ready for it to come out. More grass here. Some gladiuses there I need to move. I've already pulled a few things out of here. There was some spiderwort in here too that needed to come out. And I might move the burning bush there. Maybe. Yeah. Rudbeckia in here. And butterfly weed. Verbena. This is verbena lollipop that I've talked about before. And this is the grass that was another miscanthus that was over here. Back in there somewhere. I moved it up here. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for following me and watching me all season. This will probably be the last garden tour of the season. But you'll probably hear from me when I get my fall bulbs together. And we can go over those. Alright, thanks again for watching. Everybody stay safe and be kind. And have a wonderful fall. Happy October. I hope everybody has a great Halloween. I know it will be different, but I encourage you to still get out and see your Halloween attractions and events that are going on. I encourage you to still take the kids out trick-or-treating. Remember, the candy is individually wrapped, and you can be 6 feet apart to pass out candy. So, anyway, I'm rambling, but Halloween is very important to me, so there are ways to still celebrate and keep the spirit alive. Alright, guys, I'll talk to you later.